Welcome back, Bet the Juice Podcast. Cody Mitchell here. No Connor Holiday still. Man, still living that life on the road. Mr. Holiday. I don't think I'd expect that from him. I don't think anybody did. I don't think he did himself. He's doing good, though. He's been a crazy couple, probably the last, 5 days. And not a lot of sleep. Personal things going on, and I don't really like to get into personal life outside of the show here. We're just mostly just gambling. So you don't want to get into the stuff, man. But it's especially this time of year, man. It's March. It's March 2nd. Today was the first day of a conference tournament, which happened to be the Horizon League tournament. Well, so unfortunately I couldn't get it on. Couldn't come on here earlier, but there is a game going on. But I will say I've got it right. So the bracket is still perfect. So how is this going to work? I'm going to do a conference tournament preview for every single conference. I mean, Connor's going to be on a couple, but he's going to be on for the Big Ten. No, he's not going to be on the Big Ten, actually. He's going to be on for the Big 12, ACC, SEC, and Big East. I would do the Big Ten. But I personally am going to do all other 20. So he's going to do 4. I'm going to do all other 27. And I'm going to probably knock out 4 tonight, knock a couple out tomorrow. But basically, here's what I'm doing. Let's get a velo in here and get a little sip. Today we got a little Wild Cherry Pepsi Zero, which Pepsi sucks. Regular Pepsi sucks. Diet Pepsi sucks. Pepsi Zero sucks. But, I do fuck with some Wild Cherry Pepsi. Especially, the Zero, though. It's one of my favorite things. I always see those people put on, it's like a tweet or it's just some video and a guy be like, dude, I'll drink 25 beers on a weekend. I will eat McDonald's twice, but dear God, if you try to give me a sugar soda, full sugar soda, I'll lose my fucking mind. And that is 100% me. When I drink a fuck ton every weekend, especially on Saturdays for college football and college basketball, especially. Usually about 24 beers. Tried to get 2 12-packs in there. It was a fun run, though. But, yeah, you give me, even during that, you try to give me, so I was, 2,400 calories right there, and you're eating shitty food on top of it. But if you try to give me a full sugar Coke, I'd have lost my shit. So how these conference tournaments are going to work. I'm going to do the bracket. I've done my bracket. I've filled them out for every single one. But at the end, I'm going to kind of go through some of your best bets, some long shots. And again, if you're going to come on here and if I give you a 200-1 long shot to win the conference tournament, lose their first game, it's like, well, oh well. They're supposed to. That's the new wave of gambling. They just, a 200-1 is supposed to be a layup, okay? Like, yeah, dude, throw a half a unit on it. If you're normally betting, not even that, if you're normally betting $50 a game, put $5 on it and let it ride. 500 to 1 to $5 is $2,500. You know you're going to lose that game. But, the one time it does hit, it's sick. And if I'm going to give it to you as a long shot, I can justify why I think that can actually happen. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But it is March, and some crazy shit can happen. Another thing, when it comes to the conference tournaments, do your research, not just about the teams, but a lot of it has to do just with the tournament itself. Site that I recommend everybody go to, hoopshd.com, guy does just an awesome job. He's got in-season tournaments, conference tournaments. He does it all. But the beautiful thing about it is he gives you an idea of what actually the tournament entails, because everyone's different. The ACC tournament's in Charlotte. So, obviously, some home court advantages for, the Dukes, North Carolina, NC State, etc. The A10 is in in Pittsburgh. So, you get advantage for not Robert Morris, used to be there. Then they were the A10. They kind of look like an A10 school, though. A lot better than that fucking Pitt Panthers shit team. But here's another really good one. We're going to go to the Horizon League right here. And now this is important since we're obviously doing the Horizon League preview right now. They reseed. So the bracket's a little funky, and we'll get to it. but they reseed. Some of the games are home court, and then eventually we get into, when it gets to the championship, it's in Indianapolis. So, like, the home court's obviously going to be, it's going to come into play a lot. And so, yeah, officially we did cash the first leg, not the first leg, but the first part of this bracket. So we are perfect so far in conference tournament season. Let's go. Yeah, just hoopshd.com. He does a really good job. Because, man, like, especially in this, like, in the Horizon League, man, you can see, and now I'll get to one of the long shots, because of the reseeding, like, the middle of the pack there could end up making a little bit longer of a run just because they didn't have to play the top dogs, and they end up, being, somehow the 6th seed ends up being the second highest seed, then they get to play the second worst team remaining. It just, there's a lot of stuff that goes in there. Home court, obviously huge. It's huge in the regular season. It's definitely huge in the postseason when teams are playing for their, basically playing for their season. And again, man, these conference tournaments, crazy shit can happen. And like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's going to be some futures in some of these long shots. I'm not even saying I bet all these. I'm just saying this is, because I wanted to give a long shot and a best bet for one, because we'll get to like the Patriot League. I'm not betting Navy to win the Patriot League at minus 150. To me, that's a dumb bet in a conference tournament, especially in a Patriot League. But I want to give some best bets out. Well, I would do if I would bet it, even if I'm not going to. And the same with the long shots. It's not saying it's guaranteed, but it's, if you have a 201 and they go 2 rounds farther than anticipated, you have the ability to kind of hedge yourself, hedge the next bet the other side, cash out. Like, there's ways to make money off a $5 bet at 200-1, even without them actually winning the conference tournament. It's easily possible. Do it all the time. Do it every year. Conference tournament season is easily more profitable for the public in just the regular Joe than March Madness. March Madness, every single line is sharp. It's the sharpest line fucking possible because everybody suddenly wants to bet college basketball and they haven't paid attention the entire season. They're suddenly an expert. No, they lose every time. This you have basically, for one, every conference should allow all their teams to play in the conference tournament. I don't know why that's not a thing universal around the board. I don't get it. But you have a lot more teams playing, man, and a lot of these lower leagues like the Horizon, Vegas is not focused on as much. Do you think anybody cared about Cleveland State IU Indy tonight? We cash on Cleveland State, by the way. Spoiler. But no one does. They don't care about it. Nobody's going to care about IU Indy Cleveland State. They're worried about Arizona and Iowa State tipping off at 9 o'clock. So there's a lot of edges there, man. You just gotta find them, and they're out there, man. It's the best time of year. Me personally, I actually kind of enjoy the 2 weeks of conference tournaments over March Madness, just because I get to watch all the teams playing. Like, everybody's alive still. I mean, obviously not everybody, but the majority of the teams are still alive, and it's awesome. And I can't wait. But we're going to jump right in to the brackets. Now, the bracket's a little funky looking here. So when it gets here, it's got a lot of reseeding. And they have this weird game in between. So, like, if you're a top 3 team that advances, which I kind of like this a little bit for the Horizon, because it's like, it does give you incentive to, obviously there's incentive to win all your games, but it does reward the teams that had a better regular season than most, because the team that wins a conference tournament might not always be the best team. I don't ever want to see the regular season champion get the auto bid. I think it's stupid. Whoever thought of that, there's people that float that idea out there all the time. It's just, to me, it's dumb. It's a funky bracket, but it's cool, and I'll kind of walk it through. I'll walk everybody through it a little bit because it is a little confusing. But spoiler, we'll get to it. We already know Cleveland State knocks off IUPUI. I don't think it was technically an upset because I think they were the 10 seed. They just beat the 11 seed at home. IUND. Easy money. Vikings advance to the next round. God damn it, I already fucked up. I was supposed to read the odds, so we're going to go back real quick. All right. To win the Horizon League. Tournament odds. Wright State, plus 200. Robert Morris, plus 280. Oakland, plus 425. Green Bay, 10-1. Detroit Mercy is 10-1. Northern Kentucky's 14-1. Youngstown State, 16-1. IPFW, 45-1. Milwaukee, 65-1. IUND in Cleveland State, 501. IUND obviously already eliminated. So, Also, all the odds for all the tournament brackets I'm doing, I wanted to do one book. It's easier. I'm using DraftKings. Shop around because there's going to be better lines at other books, of course. Always shop around your lines. Yes, for me, Cleveland State's going to already advance. They were going to win this game anyway. Now, tough sledding for the Vikings. Been a down year. And then a weird stretch, and we'll get to that later on when we get to the bets portion of this. But I do have Wright State advancing. I do think Wright State is still one of the classes this league. I think Coach Sargent has still done a really good job, keeping this team afloat. It's kind of a stepping stone job for after Nagy left for Southern Illinois. And he's done a really good job, and he's kept it going. And Cleveland State, to me, just not enough firepower there. I do think the Raiders advance here. So this one's a little tricky because of the seeding here. So I went to the next highest seed, which was Robert Morris. I have Robert Morris advancing over Youngstown, which I do like Youngstown, and I do think they've been playing some of their best ball down the stretch. But when you look over at Robert Morris, they have rattled off 7 straight wins. If you don't remember, Andy Toole got them to the tournament last year. They were kind of the shocker of, I think they were a 15 seed, and they might have even covered their one game in the tournament. But no, it's still a pretty veteran group. They lost a lot of guys from a year ago, but I think they can get past the Penguins pretty easily here and move on to another bye game here. Next advancing is the Oakland Grizzlies, the Fighting Greg Campies. Culture. Coaching and culture. I wouldn't say this is a great year for Oakland standards, at least, this decade. Obviously, everybody knows the Jack Golke game. He's even on the tournament bracket right here on the Mitchell Madness banner. He was the 4th honorary member to make the bracket. That. Everybody remembers that team, but they've had some successful years besides that, and they were been right there with chances to make the tournament ever since that. Now, the Norse, I love Northern Kentucky, and they're always really chippy in this tournament, but I do think Greg Campy has just a better layout of this tournament. He knows what he's doing, and they get it done there. Okay, so here's the first upset here. I'm not buying into Detroit Mercy. Not doing it. A.W. Williams, great coach. I think what he has done in his time at Mercy is pretty. It's not A.W. Williams fucked up. It's Montgomery. Something Montgomery. Mark Montgomery, I think is his name. Yeah, A.W. Williams, my bad. That's a different team. What he's done in Green Bay is impressive, man. They started off 5-6 in the league, rattled off a bunch of wins, finished the season 12-8 in league play. And for Detroit Mercy standards, that's incredible. Even when Antonio Davis was there, a 20-point game guy for 5 years, he couldn't even get him to this point. So not buying into it. Bart Lundy has been through this time and time again. I know Milwaukee's having a down year, but I do think just having the experienced coach and the culture of Milwaukee gets the upset over Detroit Mercy. Now, I have Gottlieb with a win here. What? I'm advancing Doug Gottlieb in the Phoenix. Shout out to him, though. I clowned on him all last year because he was doing the radio show, talking about the Super Bowl, why his team's, playing meaningful basketball games. Dude, if you're going to do this, you got to take it seriously and, actually genuinely care about the players and wanting to build a winning program. But, he went out and he got some really good guys. He quit doing the radio show. Full-time coach. You got to give it to him, dude. He didn't have to do that, man. He was having a really good radio career. Not really my cup of tea. But had a really good career doing it, man. And he stopped it all, put it on hold because he wanted to take basketball seriously. And I think he does have the ability to grab good players. Now, I'm not crazy familiar with Green Bay's NIL situation, but to me, I'm going to tip my cap to him. I'm going to give him a win here because to me, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Because even if I had IPFW here, I think I'm still going the same spot here because I have Bart Lundy kind of shocking the horizon a little bit. Give me that 6 seed into the Final Four. But it ends there. Wright State culture matters here. They're the class of the league. I mean, there's a reason they were first place at what? They maybe dropped 5 games. Sorry, 5 games in league player, which in the Horizon League, that's like going fucking 21 or 20-2 in the Big 12. So a lot of parity. Yeah, I think the Cinderella stops here for Milwaukee, and Wright State gets it done. Now, Oakland, Robert Morris, awesome game here. But I'm going with Andy Toole, man. This team's hot. Like I said, 7 straight wins. Taking care of some of the better teams. It wasn't even like it was some of the worst teams in the league. They didn't beat up on Cleveland State. They didn't beat up on IU Indy. They didn't beat up on teams like Youngstown. It was, they beat Wright State. They beat Oakland. They beat Wright State again. Beat Mercy, the 3 seed. Like, dude, Andy Toole's he's a really good coach, and he's going to be at a Power 5 school, I would say, in under 3 years. So, I have Robert Morris advancing over the great Campy. And spoiler, if I didn't spoil it for you, I think Robert Morris goes back to the NCAA tournament back-to-back years. Andy Toole gets a high mid-major job. Missouri Valley. Somewhere in the Valley, you got to hire this guy. Or maybe the American. Like if Temple moves on, does he take that job? He's already in the city. Maybe an A-10 job. Like I like Darius Nichols. I think he's actually a pretty good coach. It's just LaSalle's kind of a tough job in the grand scheme of things. I know they have a couple Final Fours, but this isn't the 60s anymore. Yeah, I think he gets him there. I like Robert Morris here outright, and that is, and we'll get to it, it is my best bet, is plus 280 for Robert Morris. Some other ones in there, though. I don't really like laying 2-1 or getting 2-1 odds with Wright State. It's just in a parity-filled conference. It's just not there. So I think the winner of that Oakland-Robert Morris game ends up being the champion. So plus 280 on Robert Morris, I have bet, but plus 425 for the Grizzlies. Culture, Campy, what's not to love there? I don't really blame you. Now, the long shots is, maybe something happens to Wright State. Maybe Cleveland State gets him there. I actually don't really hate how the schedule kind of shakes out for Milwaukee. If they get past Mercy, they're probably playing in the other play-in game to go to the semifinals. You got another game on your belt. You're the hot team. You don't have the rested legs. You're more in game speed. Maybe make a run. You can hedge out of it. But this one, I wish I would have given it earlier because it's probably dropped a little bit, but not a lot, really. How about 500-1 for Cleveland State? Why not? $5. $5 on Cleveland State, 500-1. And here's why. So if you look here, they were 1-7 in league play. And then there's this little stretch right. What? Can't highlight that way. Can't highlight KenPom very well, apparently. But they beat Youngstown at home as a big dog. Then they win as 15-point underdog at Wright State. Go on the road and beat Gottlieb as a big dog. Go and beat Milwaukee on the road. I think that was a little bit closer of a spread, maybe like a 5. And they turn around and beat Oakland. Now, in those games, that little 5-game window, because that's the crazy thing. After that, they lose all the rest. They lose out. They're 6-7 in the league. They lose their last 7. But after that, man, like that 5-game stretch, they couldn't miss. This team was just, they were unconscious. So 500-1 odds. Can we get another 5-game hot streak? $5 wins you $2,500. To me, it's worth a little bit of a sprinkle. I bet it. We're already one leg down. Now, you do got Wright State at Wright State, but you already beat them there. Do I expect them to do it again? No. But if they win this game, and they would have to play the extra game, because they would 100% be the worst team remaining now, since they beat IUPUI, puts them right there in that little bracket, man. Like, you win 2, you win a couple. find a way to hedge yourself out, cash out, or something. Like, yeah, man, have a little fun. It's March. 501, Cleveland State Vikings. 1 down. Probably got to win 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. 4 more. What is it? You never know, man. Never know. I liked it at 501. I wonder if my cash it is. I doubt it's very much, but it is what it is. All right, that's going to wrap up the Horizon League tournament preview. I'll be back with more videos, putting these all out on YouTube, and all going to be on Spotify, iTunes, basically anywhere you get podcasts. So, until then, I'll see you guys. I am out of here.